Rest in peace, Steve Buium.
Rip.
Welcome to episode 3 of the State of Hockey podcast. I'm Dylan.
I'm Cole.
And today we've got a very fun one for you, obviously. We'll address this right away. Quinn Hughes was traded to the Wild. We've got a separate video about that, so go check that out first before you look at this one.
Link in description or somewhere.
Most certainly today we've got game review, we've got our tier lists, player of the week, and a look around the league as per usual. We will start off with a common theme here for the week, and that is the hospital bill. The injuries continue to come to this team. We already have had Foligno out. We had Rossi out. Have Hinostroza out as well. Monday, Zuccarello, in brutal fashion, leaves the game. Middleton later to join him. So then that's two very key pieces of our team, defense and forward. Thursday, Brodin gets hurt against Dallas blocking a shot. That sucks very badly. And then Sunday against the Bruins, Johansson leaves. And that's the one, honestly, of all of those that I'm most scared about. We'll talk about that as the episode progresses. But yeah, lots of injuries this week.
The one positive here is that despite these injuries, we are, knock on wood, Spurgeon, Kaprizov, guys who got hurt last week, they're healthy. So we're bright side there.
Yeah, and we went 4-0 this week. So
we did go 4-0.
We'll take it.
We're the best team in the league.
Yep. Yeah. So you can already see here the IR. Still have a few guys on it. I think Brodin is not on the IR, so that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Foligno's getting close to returning. Nothing on Zuccarello. We'll see why in a second here. Middleton, TBD, and Hinostroza. No timetable on him. I have no idea what happened, but it seems pretty long term, which kind of stinks. Now, I do want to highlight here, and we'll let you talk about this too here, Yakov Trenin. We definitely hated on him on episode 1. I had a really hard time with him last year. This year, it's definitely been better. I'm still not sure he's a $3.5 million player, considering he is kind of glued to the bottom 6, particularly that fourth line, when we're healthy. But if we just take a side-by-side through 31 regular season games, comparing him this year to last year, it's night and day. Like, the stat line, he's nearly doubled his points. The hits, he's on pace to crush his totals from last year. He has a lot more shots. He's just a lot more productive. In that Boston game, too, he was probably one of our best players. He was fantastic. He's turning it around.
Yeah, I would say one of our best players, one of his best games during that game, too. Like you said, we were hating on him a lot. That's kind of a recurring theme on this podcast in general. We say something and then the opposite happens. Yakov Trenin is now like the best player on the team.
Yep.
Asterisk there. But yeah, Yakov Trenin, we were talking a lot about his lack of finishing capability earlier, and now, surprise, this game he gets 2 chances straight drive into the front of the net, almost scores on both of them, and off the puck too. He's playing better defense. We had multiple turnovers from him alone on the penalty kill this game. He's been great.
Yeah.
Yakov Trenin is going to be the 2026 Marcus Johansson, it looks like.
If we just ignore the cap hit. Mm-hmm. And we see what he's done for the bottom 6, I can't complain.
Yeah.
And the production's not there, but I can't complain. When you're leading the lead in hits, when you're playing good forecheck, good defense, and you're being impactful all areas of the ice, you know what? Thank you.
It's a little high. I'd rather take Matt Boldy over even like free Yakov Trenins, but that's something we'll get into in a second with the contracts.
Yes.
But first, we got some game recaps here. So the Kraken 4-1 win.
Good one. That was a good one. Here we see though.
Yeah.
We decided to go 11 forward 70 because Tyler Pitlick is just that good. Like we just didn't want to play him.
He's a forward, by the way.
Just 11 forwards. We went the extra defenseman, and of course the game we go 11 forward 70 instead of that traditional 12-6. Matt Zuccarello literally gets beheaded on live television. That was brutal. We've got the clip here. It was truly tragic, and I do want to make note of the response here. Look at that hit though.
Yeah.
And in his head is the first point of contact. We'll watch the replay here. This is kind of like watching gore a little bit. It's shoulder, so it's clean. He's just a short guy. And then
boom, face on the ice.
Boom.
Surprised there isn't blood on the ice as soon as he comes down, honestly.
That's insanely brutal. And we've got this secondary angle here, and I do want to point out that my GOAT, Danila Yurov, just how he responds to this. It's not a dirty hit, but this is what you want to see guys do. To see your rookie do this it was good. It was very good. Look at him. He just makes a beeline for him.
Yep.
Goes straight. We'll watch. Well, it starts right at the beginning here, so we'll watch that again. He goes from attacking the guy to attacking Vince Dunn. Very happy to see my first line center doing that.
Yeah, that's something you have to do. Even if it is a clean hit, when it's one of your, on our team at least, star players, you have to show the other team that they can't just do hits on that. Even big hits, we'll say it's a clean hit, but it's a big hit.
It's a huge hit.
You're not just allowed to do that.
Yeah.
So very good for him. Assuming we do make it to the playoffs and don't randomly fall off, it's going to be great to see we have another guy like Yurov who can do that in the playoffs too. Stand up physically for our guys while being a talented first liner.
But yeah, this was a pretty even game. We started off a lot better than them, but Eck opens the scoring for us. And we had 10 forwards, but we still hung in there very well. Our game-winning goal was scored by Marcus Johansson. Kirill Kaprizov and Vladimir Tarasenko netted the empty netters. Eck absolutely dominated. He was our best player. He had a goal and 2 assists. I did right here. Liam Ogren, also rest in peace, had good game in his limited minutes. Damon Hunt rejoining the lineup as the 7th defenseman looked good. Trennian, shout out, 9 hits, 4 shots on goal, but the power play was 0 for 3. If only we had someone that we could address that with. Let's look at the stats.
If only, the Calgary Flames game and then the Seattle Kraken game. If I was Bill Guerin, I'd be looking at these games and be like, man, we need a better power play.
Too bad we haven't done anything about it yet. Expected goals here, we were the better team. We did have 4 to their 2.3, but a lot of that was the empty net. We, again, face off, wah-wah. Power play was kind of wah-wah. But we outshot them in the first. We hung in there the rest of the 2. And considering the circumstances with the injuries and whatnot, it was a very good win for us. All the 2 points count all the same, so we'll take that.
Yeah, way better turnover ratio too, more hits, more physical games. So very even in the deserve to win-o-meter, but I'd say at least off the score sheet, it was a pretty good game by us.
Speaking of good games,
Dallas Stars. Oh boy, is it great to beat the Stars. I'm still not over that 2022-2023 series against them. Rent-free.
In my
rent-free team.
Entire franchise, not going to lie.
Entire franchise, yeah. They're stolen valor.
Yeah.
So this was a beautiful sight to see that 91% deserve to win-o-meter. Despite it being a 5-2 win with 2 of them being empty nets, we completely shut them down. You can see here, the only thing bad here was that face-off and the power play, which was very reminiscent of that 2022 power play where they scored at least 4 goals in 3 seconds.
Scored shorthanded on us. That wasn't great. I will note here, just wanted to point out that I do think Philip Gustafsson, who was in net, did kind of underwhelm, particularly in the first 2 frames. I would have liked to see a little bit more from him. He made it a little bit closer than it should have been, in my personal opinion. He actually did not. He saved goals under expected. That wasn't great. But yeah, just we dominated play. You look at the 5-on-5 sheet, it was great. Eck, Boldy, Johansson. I'm calling them the engine room line just because they're the heart and soul of the team. 5-on-5, the best line, hands down. We absolutely dominated the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, you can see here, Eck has almost their entire team in goals. You add Boldy, they have almost twice as much. You add the third piece of that engine, their whole line, one line has double the entirety team of the Dallas Stars' expected goals. And it was 5-2. It wasn't like a 10-0 shutout. And yeah, it is another thing to see that we don't fully have to rely on our goaltending. When you call it 0.36 below expected, a really bad game, and you're still winning 5-2, that is a good sign that we don't always need, Stanley Cup goaltending in every game.
Yeah.
Very good performance by the rest of our team.
Great showing, straight A. Now, between the Stars game and our next game, this is when we did get Quinn Hughes. And honestly, for that Senators game, I was very much distracted. The Quinn Hughes thing was overshadowing, but it was a good one. Unless you were a referee. If you were a referee of that game, welcome. Get ready to learn AHL, buddy. Let's just say that. It was pretty terrible.
That slashing call was
It was pretty terrible. I think we actually have the clip for that again here. Yep, indeed we do. Let's take a look at it. Kaprizov has the puck here, literally on his stick, and then he loses his stick. Cousins, I believe, loses his stick, and we get slashing on Kaprizov.
Yeah, he's basically stick handling, and he gets called for
just unbelievable.
pretty bad.
There's a rule in the last minute of the game that you're not allowed, as a referee, to challenge a goal when X scored his very clutch game winner. You're not allowed to, as a referee, to review it. You have to go to Toronto for the video booth to take a look at that. And the ref went over there, talked to head coach Travis Green for like 3 minutes, and he convinced him for some reason to look at it himself because he knew that he was doing a terrible job of refereeing that game. Obviously, it was a very clear and obvious good goal, and we won the game. Again, that engine room line coming up big, but as we see here, the face-off and the power play continues to struggle. I believe we did grab a goal here in this one on the power play, so that was nice. But that was only our second. This 1 for 20 was coming into this game, so that's 2 for 20, our last 23 on the power play. Not good. We talked about goaltending again. Jesper Wallstedt looked good. We were kind of a tired, very beaten down and injured team coming into this one, and Ottawa did look to be the better of the two, as we'll take a look at the stats here. Wallstedt really held it down for us. And then I'll also shout out Tyler Pitlick. He did get his first goal. He has more points than Ben Jones now, unfortunately. Yeah. But as you can see here, Ottawa looked better. They definitely had the edge, deserved to win a meter, expected goals, all year advanced stats. But we still managed to pull out the win, like you said. You can kind of, certain pieces of the team can lean on other pieces. One night it's the goalies, one night it's the forward group. And yeah, I was impressed with the win again. No, it was no Dallas Stars game, but it was good nonetheless, considering the pieces we had to work with. Matt Kierstedt and David Juracek being our third pairing. Yeah, I'll take that any day.
Yeah, like you said, being able to rely on one and then the other, as the regular season progresses and gets more grindy towards that playoff time, being able to just flip back and forth, on any given night from your forward performance to your deep performance to your depth forward performance. As we saw in the Bruins game, we had some depth scoring there. To your goaltending, top of the league there, being able to get all those pieces, separate performances, and win with them, we get all of them together, we're pretty unstoppable. So it's great to see that, like you said, we can rely on different aspects of our team to win games.
And then the big one, the most exciting game of the week, the Hughes debut.
Absolute cinema. I went to this game. I was here. They did multiple standing ovations for him before the game and then during the first period, which he didn't look great in the first period. Shaking off the PTSD from being in Vancouver for 6 or 7 years, or whatever it was.
Yeah, something like that.
The second 2 periods, he looked great. He's back on his edge work, blue line, dog walking. He gets his goal. That was the loudest the Grand Casino Arena has ever been when I've been there. It was great. They were buzzing. They were still cheering literally 5 minutes later after he scored. They were cheering every time Quinn Hughes touched the puck.
Electric.
It was great to see. It's great to see someone like that on our team, add another superstar to Kaprizov. But yeah, getting into the actual stats of the game here, you can see that, again, there's Kaprizov. Quinn Hughes is up there, but he is a defenseman, guys. Come on. Yakov Trenyan, number 2 in our expected goals. He's being him. Marat Husnadina, former Minnesota Wild too. So we got the big 3 there. It was just a really fun game.
Yeah.
And, more injuries too. We had Johansson leave for some undisclosed, pretty minimal contact injury halfway through the game. Messed up our lines again. We had fourth liners playing. You had Hartman, Yurov, Pitlick lines, but we did get Kaprizov Boldy action, which was great to see. But yeah, it's despite 6-2 win, it is not great that we had another injury.
I don't like to see that engine room being put in danger. And then in sports, a non-contact injury that's either kind of like whatever or just absolute worst case scenario. We'll get into that when we have more information. But I would like to highlight here as we take a look at the expected goals leaders, Brock Faber. He was fantastic. He heard that he was getting Quinn Hughes as his partner and said, wait, I can use some of that too. He was fantastic on that Hartman goal. Just played pretty good all around. They complemented each other really well, even though they've never played together before. Hartman, I believe, had 3 points. Kaprizov had 3 points. Boldy at Kaprizov dominated 5-on-5, as they always do. Wild dominated Boston. But yeah, concerned about that Johansson injury. Good game. Fun time. Before we get into the play of the week here, actually, we are going to do our tier lists. We're going to get a good look at that. First things first, we're going to do a contract tier list. Let's see if we've got that. Perfect. I threw in Quinn Hughes last second. The tiers are going to be elite, good, average, poor, bad, or ELC or entry level contract. Now, the contract that we're going to be, or the way we're going to be grading it is going to be just this season strictly alone, just how the contract is going for 2025, 2026.
And then for Hughes, we'll be grading his trade since we don't really have an actual contract with him. We're not going to grade his contract. We're just going to grade the trade.
We'll go with that. First one here is Vinny Hinostroza. He is not on an ELC, but he's on that league minimum, I believe, $775,000 deal. Where I think for me personally, just because the end product isn't there with him, even though he does his role so well, I would put that in good.
I was going to say, too, I was thinking either good or even average to start it off. He is making below $1 million, which is great to see. But, he's not doing that much. I did call him the engine in prior episodes, but he's been out, and he, you know what, yeah, I think I was hovering between average or good, so I think we can definitely go with good.
Okay, we'll go with good. We're going to go just the value of the deal. I do think that is worth factoring in. Speaking of value, Kirill Kaprizov, this season, so he's on his $9 million, and considering he is all over those scoring leaderboards, I don't see why it wouldn't be an elite. Obviously, it's not the same bang for your buck as other guys unless he is getting paid like a superstar, but he's performing like one, so I think I would say elite. Do you have any pushback against that?
I'm gonna say at least for this season, it's before, or are we doing this $9 million or the 17?
The 9, just because it's
elite. Elite.
If this is the $17 million deal, I think that you could say good, just because his 5-on-5 play hasn't been quite there. You could make an argument Matt Boldy's actually been the best player 5-on-5, but he's still putting up crazy goal pace, crazy point pace. I'm good with elite, especially on this current deal.
For sure.
Up next, we've got Ryan Hartman. He's at a $4 million cap hit, so that is quite high. Where would you put Ryan Hartman?
I would put Hartman this season, these last two games aside, Senators and Bruins, he hasn't done much. I would put Hartman at average. $4 million for a third, sometimes fourth liner isn't that good, but he's a role player, and I think that's going to be much more impactful in the playoffs, but since we're ignoring that, it's definitely going to be pretty average.
I would say average as well. Straight up average. Vladimir Tarasenko, $4.75 million. And I would be hovering between average, even to poor. He does have some decent statistics. He's put up some good assist numbers. He's got a few goals, but I think only like 3 or 4. He hasn't played the whole year, so he's got about 14 points in like mid-20s games, I want to say. So that doesn't look too bad on paper, but I'm a little underwhelmed. Would you put him in average or poor?
Yeah, I'd throw him in poor, actually, because we have to remember too, he's playing with Kirill Kaprizov. You're both holding Kaprizov back, and you should be bringing yourself up playing with a superstar like that on your line. So I think I am expecting a lot more out of Tarasenko and really hope we can get more of him. So yeah, I do like poor here.
Yeah.
Tarasenko.
Yurov here, that's our ELC. He's on that rookie deal, entry level contract, but he's been good. Yep, shout out to Nelly Yurov. Up next, Matt Zuccarello. He's been hurt quite a lot, but when he's played, I think he's looked really good. I wouldn't put him in elite, but I'd probably place him in good.
I'd put him in good, yeah. The synergy with Kaprizov is unmatched on pretty much any other team between those two. So I think as long as he's playing with Kaprizov and as long as he is playing, period, and not injured, it's going to be a minimum of good for no matter what he gets.
I think if he misses too many games here, I think if he gets over 65, I would still leave him in good. But if he finishes the season sub 60, I would probably move him down to average just because you lose value by not playing. But as of right now, good. He was very close to point a game, I want to say, the time he's played.
Yeah,
so.
I know when he came back, he had 9 in his first 10. And then obviously all those highlight reels with him and Kaprizov. So, yeah, definitely good for him.
For Zach Bogosian, $1.5 million. Nothing crazy AAV-wise. Nothing crazy anything-wise with Zach Bogosian. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, just for the fact that he's not making a ton of money, I don't want to put him in bad or even poor. Like, I want to, even though we both do not like, now with Trinian being good, I think Zach Bogosian is our consensus, like, bottom 2 player.
Yeah.
But it is just $1.5 million. It's not that much. And, I hate to say it, like, these words are, like, forcibly coming out of my mouth, but he's a mentor. He's one of the
Yeah.
last 4 players without a visor, named other 3, blah, blah, blah. Exactly, Ocean.
Chad,
It's not that bad.
He's our sixth
It's not that
defenseman, minutes eater. He's gonna be physical. Yeah, I don't know. I don't hate it. I mean, if it was anything more, I'd be like, whatever. But it's not that bad. Like you
Yeah,
said.
if it was 4 million, it's bad. If it's above 2 million, it's poor. But 1.5 is average.
Yeah,
Good with that.
I don't hate that either. Jonas Brodin, yeah, I would put him in good. He was
Yeah.
amazing against Edmonton.
Yeah,
There's-
I was gonna say before injury, if he's 82 game player, I'm putting him in elite. But yeah,
For sure.
I like good.
That's
at this
another
current
one.
moment.
Like Zuccarello, where the injuries are a very real concern. He could slip down due to that. But right now, he's missed like a couple of. I think he missed a game earlier in the season, and he just missed this last one. I'm not too worried. Good.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Brock Faber next. He's on that $8.5 million deal. This is his first year of that. He's been, just throughout the entire season, our best defenseman. I like Brock Faber's game. I don't hate his contract. The AAV is a little steep, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm honestly not mad throwing him in elite. He's definitely showing a lot more of his first season gameplay than his second season gameplay, which is a good thing because obviously we saw how good he was that first season. And he's a defensive defenseman too, so you can fully ignore those offensive numbers, which he's still putting up. So I like elite. It looks like you're gonna put him in elite.
I would put
That
him in
contract, our number one D until we got a certain Quinn Hughes. Very good contract for him. Very
just
good lockdown.
Throwing in Quinn Hughes, this is also a little bit like looking forward. I think he will comfortably look right in that elite tier. Having him as a number 2 defenseman rather than a number 1 should bring out a lot more value in his game too. Yeah, elite. Speaking of elite, Ben Jones, again, league minimum, $775K. I think, I don't know, I would probably put him in poor just because he doesn't produce at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't hate average. I don't know. Would you have a preference?
I'd throw him in poor just because, glazing aside, he hasn't really done much. Like,
Yeah.
their face-off is like a really cherry-picked stat, which I've talked about. And then other than that, he's... Unfortunately, I do hate to say this, but Ben Jones is not much of an impact player, even on that fourth line. But yeah, he's not even making $1 million, so I wouldn't call that bad.
No. But I would say this next one, I believe it's another league minimum or around there, sub $1 million deal. Tyler Pitlick, he's been awful.
Yeah.
Very penalty prone. He did get his first goal, whatever. Not great. I would throw him in bad.
Mm-hmm.
I would
For sure. He's, if we're looking at Ben Jones, he's just like overall worse in terms of everything than Ben Jones besides, that one goal. But I'd rather get, 20 less penalty minutes than 5 goals from a fourth liner throughout the entire season.
Yeah, same.
Definitely bad there.
More efficient. Jones, way more impactful contributor to a win than a Tyler Pitlick. Jake Middleton next. None other, I believe he's 4.4 or so million.
Yeah, 4.3, 4.4,
Yeah.
something like that. I'd throw him. What do you think? Because I have an opinion here.
I would put him right in bang average. I think that's
Bingo.
kind of steep. I would like to see him on a little bit less, but as the cap rises, it's not going to be too bad. I think he's got 2 more years after that. It's good length. He's been, again, another good eater of minutes. He's going to be on a third pair now, which is probably where he belongs with Quinn Hughes on the team now. And he's just kind of he's done his role. He hasn't been noticeable necessarily, but that's not such a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, as we get him onto that third line, I think he'll be a great third line D. Like you said, 4.3 is a little steep, but just again, sectioning off the tiers, I don't think it's as bad as the Tarasenko or Jones contract, and nowhere near as bad as the Tyler Pitlick. So I think he's fringe, average, and poor in my opinion. But we'll give him the benefit of the doubt when he gets back. Throw him an average.
Yeah, and then up next we've got Jared Spurgeon. That's another pretty steep AAV. I know you feel very strongly about Jared Spurgeon and his role as captain. So where do you want to put him?
Yeah, well, so far I'm throwing him in good just because he's been healthy this season. It's been great. He's been probably in his last 3-4 seasons. I think this is so far his best one. He's been playing great. He's been staying healthy. You might throw another knock there. Staying healthy. So yeah, very very optimistic. Good for me, but I think if he stays healthy, that captain, especially also being our captain, I think it's well worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I have no complaints about that. I would put him in. I'd put him in good as well. Philip Gustafson. Obviously, like the Wild, terrible October. Great last couple of months. He's in the high fives. I want to say 5.8, right around
That
there.
sounds right.
For the next few years here, he hasn't. He still, as the team has been hot, he has had his off nights or has not like won us stolen games necessarily for us. So I would probably throw him in good. Not quite elite, but he belongs in good and probably should be higher up than some others in that good tier.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, Philip Gustafson, especially like if you ignore October, he's elite. So
Yeah.
I think we can average that out to be near the top of good. I do like that.
Shit, we got the anyways, Jesper Wallstedt, we're gonna throw that in ELC.
Would love to throw him in elite.
He would be an
but,
elite, like
yeah.
but that's unfair. I will say we did have Damon Hunt, his picture for Pitlick, so he's ELC. We've got Pitlick now. That's bad. There we go. Nico Sturm. He is our brand new signing, a 2 mil AAV. What he's provided so far, I've honestly loved him. I would put him as one of the higher players in the good tier personally. Just for those, he's contributed to a bunch of goals. He's scored, but just the face-off winning ability has added a lot of potential upside to that bottom six. And we've seen Kaprizov go out there with them in some recent games with the injuries. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, only 2 million veteran center who can win faceoffs, and he's not playing. His gameplay isn't like a veteran. It's not like geriatric or slow or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like good for Sturm. I think he is playing his value. He's providing a lot to us for a bottom six, and like you said, he can move up when needed as a face-off winning center, which we are so desperately in need of.
Yeah, and now we've got Yakov Trenin. Like we talked about. 3.5 is steep, but I would put him. Where would you put him?
If it's before this week, I'm putting him in bad. If it's this week alone, I'm putting him in elite. So, I'd put him in poor or average. I'm gonna leave it up to you. I think we still need to see more out of him. This is so weird to say. We need to see more out of this week's Trenian going forward. But yeah, I'll leave it up to you. Average.
He's just been trending in such a good direction.
Trending.
Yeah, good one.
You said it.
In such a good direction. And just looking at this year alone, we throw last year out of it. Last year was terrible. I would put him in average. I don't know if I would be able to put him above any of these guys in average besides Bogosian because I don't like watching him. But I would put him in average. I'll put him in average. This next one, there's no debate. Matt Boldy, do the honors.
Elite.
Yeah, there we go. I would put him as
7 million.
the best deal
Elite.
on the team. The best bang for the buck that we've gotten. Just throughout the contract, he's been great. But this year in particular, he's looking to have his best offensive season yet. Yeah, elite.
Yeah, he's, like you said earlier in the episode, he's matching Kaprizov, maybe even surpassing him in 5-on-5 play. And Kaprizov, we have to remember, is like a top 10 superstar in the league. And Matt Boldy, he is only going to get better. He is just starting to enter his prime if we look at age alone.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely like very top of the league, easily the best deal on the team.
Yeah.
Well, not easily,
but
easily once Kaprizov's new cap, it's
for sure.
easily going to be best.
Marcus Foligno, $4 million deal again. I don't think he has any goals still.
This season alone, I'm putting him in bad. He has done nothing this season.
That's what I want. I have to throw his career as a Wild player of the window. I would put him in bad. I think he's been more impactful than a Ben Jones, but you have to see it and look at that he's making 5
times as much, 7 times as
much. I would put him in bad. Yeah, sorry, but yeah. To flip the script back to more positive, we've got Marcus Johansson.
Elite.
This year alone, I mean, we just talked and glazed the Boldy contract. This is the most valuable one. Hopefully he comes back. Yada yada yada. Elite.
Yeah, under $1 million, and he's pretty much point per game player
crazy.
on the second line. It is Marcus Johansson is that guy. He's the GOAT.
And to finish out the engine room, we're going to put our third member of that in the elite. I won't even dispute that. He's on like 5.25 mil for another 3 or 4 years
So
here.
impactful.
Absolutely insane. If this dude stays healthy, this is like one of the best value contracts in the league. Even if he's not, this is still amazing. You're still getting a net positive. And just that this entire engine room line being on like $13 million cumulatively is insane, especially because Kaprizov's going to be on more than that alone. But that's how winning rosters are constructed. Speaking of how winning rosters are constructed, Quinn Hughes. I'm just gonna, I don't know. Where would you put Quinn Hughes?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can just base off the wording here. We can ignore the A, B, C, whatever. I'd say it's a good trade. Maybe, I don't know. You look like you're trying to throw him in elite there. We've seen one game. You know what? Throw him in elite. Throw him right next to his defensive pairing buddy, Doc Faber.
It's Quinn Hughes. I can't. I have to throw him in elite.
He's an elite player.
The trade's good. I would say elite just because it raises the ceiling. If we were looking at that contract, $7.85 million, you could argue that's better value than Boldy. Just next year, having Quinn Hughes for $7.85 million is absolutely insane. So yeah.
Matt, let's talk about the money makers. We're gonna fully ignore Marcus Johansson because he's a crazy outlier. But yeah, Quinn Hughes, Matt Boldy, and Kirill Kaprizov on their current contracts, get all of them for just over $22 million is insane. Yeah. So yeah, that's the end of this first tier list here. Based off that year alone, we're turning into hopefully a cup winning team. So it is going to be skewed towards that elite and good because that is
nice to see.
How we believe our system is built right now.
It's nice to see.
Yeah,
we're gonna look
at
the next one, and the next one is gonna be a tier list of teams. How much we like them. This is pretty straightforward here. We've got the love them, like them, indifferent, dislike, and then hate with a passion tier. So we've got all the teams here. First things first, we've got Anaheim Ducks. I'll let you take the Ducks, Cole.
I'm gonna reserve. I think you should do this too. Let's reserve love them for the Wild and then probably our favorite teams.
Okay, I got you.
So I'm gonna put the Ducks at the very top of like them because I like them. They're very
pretty
young
simple
and fun to watch. I think you know who my other favorite team is. We'll get to that
yeah,
later.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I like the Ducks. They got a lot of young, fun pieces, and they're gonna get better as the years go on. They're gonna enter that window pretty soon.
I think also we'll rank these tiers just based on the inside of the tier themselves. Mm-hmm. So like you said, the Ducks will be at the top of like them. I appreciate that. Our next team is the Boston Bruins. I will put them personally in dislike. I don't know. Something about them I've never been a huge fan of. I don't really have any ill will against them. They've had a bunch of former Wild players, so I like that. But just not a fan.
Yeah, I'd throw them, I was going to say either near the bottom of indifferent or the very top of dislike. I think we can throw them in dislike because I think there will be a lot of teams we're indifferent about, so we don't want to.
We'll see when we get to the end, but right around, we've got the area for the Bruins. Yeah. Up next, we've got the Buffalo Sabres.
I'm pretty indifferent towards them. I don't, they're the Sabres. I just feel bad for them.
Sabres fans, I love. I hate the Sabres management with the passion. I don't really like the team. Alex Tuck, we still want you, even though we need a center extra now. But yeah, I'll say indifferent.
He's wing too. Come over here.
Yeah. Tage Thompson, anybody.
Rasmus Dahlin, let's get another D.
Oh my, that would be insane. But yeah, Calgary Flames. Totally indifferent.
Yeah, again, another shit team that we don't care about. It's, the Calgary Flames. Like, I'm sorry, Flames fans. You guys kind of suck. Please rebuild faster,
The owners suck so bad for believing in Nazem Kadri and friends. Like, I don't know what that is, man. Crazy stuff. All right, Carolina.
I like them. They're fun to watch.
Yeah, I like Logan Stankoven, even though he's a former Dallas Star. I like Jacob Slavin. Love Nikishin. They're fun. We usually beat them too. That helps. I'd put them in definitely below the Ducks, but Chicago Blackhawks.
We know your history with the Blackhawks.
I hate Chicago with passion. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you don't hate them as much, but they just traumatized me.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I like about them is they have Connor Bedard and he's fun to watch. Otherwise,
pretty fun to watch.
they don't deserve anything. You know, you hear Blackhawks fans like, oh, we haven't won anything in 10 years. It's like you had a
What you win
dynasty
before,
10
man?
years ago. It's like
Just
Patriots
shut your
fans. Like,
Yeah.
just, get a grip. Be like Canadians fans. They're happy after not winning for 70 years or
Yeah.
however long it's been.
I'll put Blackhawks in hate with passion. Avalanche, another division rival, another team you have postseason history with. We did beat the fuckers 2 times, so that's great. 2 Game 7 overtime winners, awesome stuff. I would put. Where would you put the Colorado Avalanche?
I'm gonna put them just like because I like from an unbiased perspective, I really like watching them. But from a wild fan perspective, they're the villain version of the Carolina Hurricanes.
That's a great way of putting it.
They're fun to watch, but I kind of hate watch them a little bit too. It's like, oh look, you guys you're so fast. You're Nathan McKinnon, whatever. Like go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You're losing the first round like we do again.
Yeah. I don't know. Before Quinn Hughes, when we didn't have those crazy expectations, I was like, you know what? I just respect. I love the Avs. I love watching Nate McKinnon. I love watching Cale Makar play. But now that we have all this, I don't know. I have to dislike him now.
Yeah, they're actual rivals now, which is kind of fun to say.
Now we have the Wild of the East, the most irrelevant 2000 expansion franchise. The Columbus Blue Jackets, they do have Dean Evanson, who I still have a special place in my heart for. I wish we never fired him. So that does bump them up for me a little bit, but still, I don't know. I don't really feel particularly strong about putting them in any of the tiers necessarily.
Yeah, I'd throw them indifferent. I'd put them at the top of indifferent though, just because they're kind of cool. Like you said, they got Dean Evanson. It's like, hey, you're our twin in the East.
Yeah,
go suck with us or something.
Yeah.
Let's meet in the finals.
Yeah. Shout out Columbus. I will put Dallas and hate with a passion. If there's a tier below hate with a passion, I would put Dallas in it.
It's a tier for Dallas Stars.
Just Dallas.
Stolen Valor tier. As you said.
As much as that Chicago traumatized me, Dallas has too. They have beat us twice in the playoffs now. I can't stand them.
They stole our team, and their
They're
current hatred surpasses the past hatred and the looming hatred of the Chicago Blackhawks. Yeah,
they're our bogey team.
Dallas Stars suck.
Yeah. Detroit Red Wings, bit back more on a positive note. Honestly, for me personally, I like them. There's a bit of nostalgia there because I liked watching them when they were good. Cool logo. I like their players, not named Patrick Kane. Yeah, I don't know. I like them.
Yeah, I'd throw them in probably near the bottom of they're fun and absolutely nothing against them. So
Yep.
yeah.
I would throw them there. And now the Edmonton Oilers. I also do like the Oilers just because I want McDavid. I'm cheering for them. Like every time it's the postseason, past the first round, I'm always like, go Oilers, just go win it, please.
Yeah.
And they never do.
Yeah,
So,
Connor McDavid deserves a cup. I'd put them in just because they're also McDavid's fun to watch. The rest of the team sucks.
I would put them ahead of Detroit and behind Carolina.
For sure.
The other cup final compatriot, the Florida Panthers. Definitely not as high as Edmonton, that's for sure. I am a Brad Marchand and Matthew Tkachuk enjoyer. I like players of that archetype. So guilty as charged. But as a whole, they do kind of have that dirty rep, and they made some dirty hits against us in previous games. I think last year at the opener they had a pretty nasty one, but
I would throw them in just because I honestly don't really like them. I don't think they deserve to win the cup as much as they do. It's hockey in Florida. Get out of here.
Yeah.
I like that. Bruins, Panthers.
That'll be my order for dislike.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really want to see them win another one. I respect how they've been built as a franchise. I think at least
they're following that template of being a cup-winning franchise, which I also don't like. Because why are they smart?
Yeah, they're cooking.
Yeah.
They did a good job. The Kings, kind of trending in the opposite direction with their recent offseason. But I don't know. I liked them that when I first started watching hockey was when the Kings won the Stanley Cup for the first time. So that will hold a special place in my heart a little bit always. But I don't know. We play them a lot. We kind of have some bad blood when we play them. Yeah, I would put them in right between indifferent and dislike again.
Yeah, I think wherever, indifferent or dislike. When I first started watching hockey too, I liked them. They were I was like, oh cool, they have cool logos. They got that nice little silver and black. It's pretty sharp or whatever. But yeah, it's like, we have to play them, and it's not fun playing them. They're such a boring team.
So that you know what? Now I know. Yeah,
That's
neutral zone trap. Literally 2000s Devils hockey. Definitely gonna put them in dislike just because it's just a shitty game every time we play them. Mm-hmm. Speaking of us, there we go.
Throw them in there.
Love them. Obviously, our favorite team.
Yeah.
Well,
should be
our favorite team, not named the Montreal Canadiens. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in. Love them as well. So fun.
Below the Wild.
Below the Wild. Barely. Just kidding. But yeah, the Preds are awesome. Or not Preds. The Canadiens are awesome. Good young team.
Mm-hmm. Preds, despite them being in a division, it's kind of like kicking a dog or something. I'm indifferent towards them. It's same with honestly everything else in indifferent. It's like we shouldn't be looking down on teams like that too much, feeling bad for them because they're the Minnesota Wild. But it's like, yeah, I have no opinion toward the Predators. It's like, feel your, like, why do you have bright yellow seats and they're always empty?
Why are you named the Predators? Yeah.
Weird.
Devils. This is kind of interesting because they did have Zach Parise, my favorite player of all time, play for them. I really like their logo and their colors, but I'm kind of scared of them now with having Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
I kind of want to throw them in dislike. Like, I want to see them do bad. I want to throw them in dislike.
Ooh, make them tank so we can.
Or just kind of.
I like what you're thinking. Actually, I was gonna say I do like them, but in this situation, we need them to do bad.
I want to cheer against them now. I had no reason to prior, but I want to cheer against them now.
You want the Hughes brothers?
I would still put them at the top of dislike.
Yeah, throw them above the Kings for sure.
All right. New York Islanders. I love Matthew Schaefer, and I don't know. I would put the Islanders. I'd probably put them at the top of indifferent.
Yeah.
I don't really like them. They always had a bunch of former Minnesotans, a couple of former Wild players. Schaefer's great. Now they're a little bit more interesting, so they're kind of trying to move out of that indifferent tier, but. Yeah, we've had some boring games against them in the previous years.
They're kind of like the Kings with no hatred. They were boring to watch too, but they have Schaefer now, like you said. So yeah, definitely indifferent.
Rangers.
I do not like the Rangers.
You don't like the Rangers?
Yeah, they're just like, I don't know. It's like, it seems like the only thing they can talk about is that they're an original six team, and they're just like, I don't know. Yeah. There's another one of those groups that we'll get into later who I hate.
They have a weird superiority complex, even though they're the least successful original six franchise by far.
Yeah.
Haven't won anything in 30 years, so yeah,
Good
we're
spot,
right there.
Yeah, either side of.
All right, I'm gonna do that because personally, that's where I'd put them.
Yeah.
Okay, Ottawa. We've the last two Senators games, last three maybe. There's been a lot of bad blood. Kachuk's been all over the place. That Hartman suspension, but even still, again, I really like their colors. I like Stützle.
Mm-hmm.
I
Kachuk.
I do like Kachuk still. He's more annoying. He's more stupid, but
He looks stupid.
I'm gonna put them at the very top of indifferent.
Yeah, I like that. Definitely somewhere indifferent.
For the Flyers, just because they're Philly, I'm tempted to put it like almost the bottom of dislike. Nearly. I don't, and. Just when they were good when I first started watching hockey, their team was annoying. I don't like anything Philly. I'm gonna put them over Colorado. I don't know. Do you disagree with that?
No, I like that. I'm more different because I don't hate them as much, but I do see where you're coming from, and they are just like there's never been a time where I'm like I like the Flyers, never, and I think their colors are ugly too.
They're eyesore. Penguins. I
like the Penguins.
I like the Penguins.
Yeah, love Crosby. Love the Penguins. They were the angelic, positive, good dynasty.
Yeah, the good Pennsylvania team.
Yeah. They're fun to watch.
Great roster, top to bottom, throughout that time. Yeah, even now it's like they're just still kicking, and I respect them.
Justin Brazeau.
Don't.
The GOAT.
Oh, now I want to move them down.
You mean move them up to love them? Come on.
Speaking of love them, we've got San Jose. I'm guessing.
Yeah. We can put them below Canadians. I'm not going to argue that because I'm more of a Malcolm Celebrini enjoyer than the San Jose Sharks enjoyer, and I know you love the whole team. Although there's a certain Russian.
Yeah, I do like them enough, but the Sharks are great. I would put them and love them too, even if it was just me doing this tier list. They're super fun. Mm-hmm. Low stakes right now. They might be playing us in the Western Conference Finals come literally next year. They're such a wagon, but love the Sharks.
Mm-hmm.
Kraken. This is weird, but this is another dislike for me.
Really?
Just because they're so mediocre and I terribly managed. Like they had a good playoff run, and then they just went and signed. They went all in on that and signed a bunch of people to terrible deals. They've only drafted centers. I just think they're poorly ran. They're super, 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 super mediocre. I would say they're the most mediocre team in the NHL.
You know what? I like that actually. I'd throw them at like the very top of dislike then. Because I was thinking near the bottom of indifferent, but you've sold me.
All right,
dislike.
sweet.
The center signing. Who needs defense? Who needs goaltending? We have Joey Daccord. He will be good for 3 decades.
Yep. Let's
sign centers.
St. Louis Blues next. Another division rival. They have playoff history. Definitely not up here. Where would you put them?
If you want to base it off playoffs and my demon that was Vladimir Tarasenko on the St. Louis Blues, I'm throwing them in hate.
Ooh.
But, it's cooled off now where I'm kind of just like, whatever. So if you want to throw them in hate, I'll throw them in hate.
I'm cool with throwing them in hate. I have hater in my heart.
Let's throw them in hate, yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as I mention his name, it's all coming back now. I'm not going to say his name again.
Seeing them in hate.
Don't want to take the image.
Seeing them get a cut before us. Ooh, Jordan Binnington. Boom. I'm so.
There we go.
Hate.
That's all we need. Jordan, you suck. Yeah. It's at the very bottom of the league and like everything.
So terrible. Marc-Andre Fleury would have beat you up. Tampa Bay Lightning.
Still could probably.
Definitely. I'm gonna put Tampa Bay Lightning. I would have put them in love at different points in my hockey watching. They're kind of falling off for me a little bit, but I would still put them in like them.
Yeah, they're getting old. They're gonna become unwatchable soon. Yeah, like them. Like, please take down the Panthers at some point.
Yeah.
Do something. Tampa
Cooch.
Bay. Cooch.
Yeah,
Do
good.
your job.
Fun team for the entirety of my life. Marty St. Louis obviously doesn't play for them anymore, but one of my favorite players of all time as well. Yeah, good franchise.
Toronto Maple Leafs. I hate their fans. So.
Yeah, I don't even like their players at this point either. Yeah. I would put them. I put them
Probably,
here.
Yeah, either there or the top. One of those two.
Yeah, we'll do that because I know. Yeah, we'll do that. That's good.
We gotta keep the division rivals down there.
Vancouver, another interesting one.
You know what? I'd throw them either in like them or in top and different now because they got our guys. They probably have the most former Wild players out of anyone in the league right now. And I want to see those guys do good. So now I want to see the Canucks do good. Even before we traded for Quinn Hughes, I've felt for the Vancouver Quinn Hughes, no fucking help. So it's always been fun to see him carry the team. So I've been kind of indifferent towards the Canucks, but now I like them. They got William Rossi Ogren. Go turn into superstars.
Yeah, I like Brock Besser as well. I don't know. I was indifferent on them before, but I'll take him. Vegas.
Well, you can do this one.
I'm gonna do this one. I'm putting them in hate. Honestly, I'd put them over St. Louis personally, but yeah. I don't. All right, I'm doing it. Like, as a fan of an expansion franchise, to see what they did, and then to see them take Alex Tuch from us to protect, and then trade Eric Haula just to protect Matt Dumba, who is the worst of those 3 players by far. Very frustrating. They treat their players horribly. Their fans are stupid and dumb. Their existence pisses me off. I wish they would go move to somewhere in Canada.
They don't even have real fans. The shit with Carter Hart, the shit with Mark Stone being injured, the fact that they got to the Stanley Cup their opening year and then won like 5 years later. It's like they don't deserve it, and all their fans are just like drunk people gambling at 6 a.m.
Trading Evgeny Dadonov to a team that was on his no-trade list. Just bums. They're a bum franchise, not a fan.
They do have a sick logo, unfortunately.
And sometimes their jerseys are kind of tough. Winnipeg Jets, another division rival. Very close proximity-wise. When I think of Winnipeg, I think of Dustin Byfuglien, and I can't hate Dustin Byfuglien. So I wouldn't put them in hate, but they did beat us in the playoffs one year. Who hasn't, honestly? But I would put Winnipeg. I'd probably put them in dislike still.
I'd put them next to the Avalanche.
Yeah. Here, we need to put both. We need to put Philly behind both of these guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably Florida too.
For sure.
This is all right. There we go. So Winnipeg's in dislike. That's the tiers there. Now we have Utah. They are in our division, but they're brand new to it, and their logo, everything about them is sick. Dylan Gunther, Logan Cooley, Clayton Keller, Mikhail Sergachev. I like them. I like Utah.
They're a fun team. I think we can throw them right next to the Ducks.
That's valid. Sure. I would put them. Yeah. They are gonna get that spot taken. At least if I could put Washington anywhere by Washington, just because Ovi. I've always liked. I honestly have been Washington over a Pittsburgh guy personally. I just think I like Ovi more than Sid. Just purely watching. I think Sid's a better player. I would put Washington right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's more fun to watch because he's a goal scorer. I do think the Penguins have been better through that stretch.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean the Capitals are better now. The Ovi's still kicking. He's the Russian machine. He's got the goal lead now. And they're a fun team to watch too. Like they're kind of skipping over their rebuild. It seems like they're just gonna get rid of Ovi and go straight into another. He's gonna molt and turn into Connor McMichael or something.
Ryan Leonard. Yeah, I think that's another well-ran team. I respect them. I'm very jealous of them. Like, I kind of want to move Carolina and Washington down a tier just because if we were playing in their divisions, we would have, like, a free fucking trip to the conference finals every year, especially now with Quinn Hughes. But nothing against either of those franchises personally. Yeah, come to the West and you'd be, like, 6th seed, but whatever. No big deal.
Come to our house and see what real hockey's like.
Yeah, bro.
Something like that. But that's just, the Wild, we're built tough, so. Ford or some.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So now we've got the goal of the week. We're going to do yours first, Cole. Believe it or not, it is actually a Quinn Hughes highlight.
Shocker.
Who could have seen it coming? Let's take a look at this here.
Yeah, you've probably seen this. This is only from last year, but it is a beauty. You got Quinn Hughes. He walks the entire team and rips it.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Glove side.
Pass
Jari. It is.
At Oilers goalie now. Oilers legend Tristan Jari. That was nasty. That was a good goal.
And we should be seeing some of that come playoff time. So, a little foreshadowing there.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Well, for my goal of the week, we're going to go, again, I've got the retro edition. I'm kind of doing a throwback. As you can see on the right side there, that's Pavel Bure. Probably a top. He's right up there with St. Louis, and Parise is one of my favorite players of all time. Probably the most electric player to watch, basically ever, in my opinion. So fast and skilled. We'll take a look at that one now. This is against Boston. And keep in mind, this is like in the mid-90s. Just the stuff he's doing is crazy. He kicks it to himself. You can't see it in that speed because he's so fast, but...
Yeah, that's
nasty.
That's a crazy fake. That's crazy speed, crazy goal, too.
That's very. He was very much ahead of his time. He would dominate in any era.
Walked Boston.
Such a fun player to watch. But so those are the goals. Those are the goals of the week. Those are fun. We'll look at the league leaders now. We've got points leaders. Nathan McKinnon at the top, despite what the photo says. We are
technical difficulties. Sorry, guys.
Propagandists here. McDavid at number 2. I do think those two are kind of going to make some separation here. Celebrini holding on to 3rd, Bedard and 4th despite the injury that he did receive in the last game against St. Louis. RIP. Hopefully he can make the Olympic roster still. We've got Natchez, thank you Nathan McKinnon, and Draisaitl tied for 5th. We've got Cooch and Rantanen tied for 7th, and then Eichel and Kyle Connor rounding out the top 10. Pretty standard stuff. I'd love to see Kaprizov get in there as soon as possible, but that's fine. GAA, of course, my king Jesper Wallstedt leading that. And then we've got Brandon Bussey of the Carolina Hurricanes in 2nd. Pretty standard, pretty similar to last week. Thompson, Wedgwood, Blackwood, Kemper, DeSmith, Vasilevsky, Schmidt, and Cooley rounding out the top 10. Wood squared, or whatever you want to call it, the Colorado tandem in 4th and 5th. Pretty crazy. That's some good stuff there. Goals, it's nice to see Kaprizov on this high on this list.
He's a goal scorer. We see Matt Boldy down there too, Yeah. We got goal scorers. We don't have... Oh, sorry, we didn't have any crazy assist machines. We do now.
I think Kaprizov's playmaking is pretty amazing, but he hasn't been a playmaker this year because he's done all the play driving. But yeah, McKinnon, geeky, still high up there. I think he's been keeping pretty crazy pace. Rantanen and Kaprizov, those guys fighting for the Calder in 2021, tied for 3rd. Bedard and Crosby, who was 18 when Connor Bedard was born, tied for 5th with Bo Horvat, like we all expected. And then McDavid and his superior Matt Boldy tied with Alex Brinkett in 8th. Save percentage, again, Wallstedt leading. Who'd have thought? Dennis Hildeby, shout out Toronto's third string goalie, Dennis Hildeby.
Better than the other two.
More healthy.
Yep.
Logan Thompson, Blackwood Wedgwood, Smith, Vasilevsky, Hellebuck, Kemper, Spencer Knight. Fuck the Chicago Blackhawks in 10th. And then we've got the points leaders. We've got assists now. We've got McDavid leading that. Celebrini in second. McKinnon and Natchez, the teammates, tied for third with Cooch and Rantanen. And Eichel, all on 29. Then you've got Makar,
Another Avalanche.
Suzuki, and Draisaitl running that out. I think Quinn Hughes actually has like 23, so he's not super far off of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then for shutouts, of course, Wallstedt still leading. Ilya Sorokin, Sergei Bobrovsky pushing towards that number 4. Blackwood, Kemper, Knight, Gustafsson, Otter, Schmid, and Dustin Wolf all on 2. So that's 2 Flames goalies with just having some decent years.
And 6 shutouts for Wild goalies, which is pretty
That's
fun to
awesome.
see.
That's awesome. Hopefully that keeps up. So those are the points leaders. We've got rookies and defensemen as well. We'll take a quick look at. Makar, of course, lighting it up. 38 heads and tails above the rest. Werenski, Bouchard, Heiskanen, Morrissey, Fox, Hudson, Chikrin, Darlene, and Goss to spare. Rounding out the top 10, I think Hughes, is it?
Hughes should be right there. I think McAvoy's there too.
I want to say Hughes is at, isn't he at like 26?
He is
or
at
24?
23 points, 100%.
Okay.
He's at most 1 point behind. He's at most 11th through 12th there.
Okay, makes sense. And then for
right there.
rookies, Beckett Seneca, love the Ducks. Awesome, shout out.
Guess who's second?
Ivan Nemitov,
Guess who's second?
my
Yep.
favorite. Schaefer in third.
Defenseman, by the way, pretty crazy.
That is nuts. Holy easy Calder win for him. Ryan Leonard, Oliver Kapanen, carried by Nemitov, by the way, that's his line mate. Gritziuk, a greasy name, greasy player. Zeev Bouillon, after a nice debut with the Canucks, tied for 5th. Emmett Finney, Matthew Wood, Ben Kindle going to round out the rookie points leaders there. Well, now we're going to do a little bit of a bonus segment. This was very exciting to me when I made this earlier in the week, kind of overshadowed by Quinn Hughes. But this is kind of just the new... We'll take a look at this. We'll see how it looks, how we feel about the new stat website for future videos. We might mix it in a little bit. But it's hockey stat cards is what it's called. It takes into account things like play driving. It's just a bit of an easier format to look at here, which we'll see. You can see positive or negative. You can look, they've got a grade as well. Developed by a member of The Athletic. It's very interesting. It's a nice way to view performances. Kind of gives you like a report card a little bit is how I see it. For example, these are some of the best and worst performances of the year. Boldy's got the best average per these metrics, which I think kind of makes me feel like it's more accurate because that's how I feel. I feel like Boldy's been our best player this year. Kaprizov, right there with him, neck and neck, as they should be. And then you've got Johansson, Rossi, rest in peace, Brodin, Eck, Zuccarello, Faber, Spurgeon, and Middleton. That's like, if I had to guess the top 10, it'd be pretty close to that.
Yeah, and then rounding out in the bottom 10, we got David Jiricek, Ben Jones, Lee Mogren, unfortunately. And Estorza, which... I guess that makes sense. He hasn't actually done much. Pitlick should be lower.
Molino should be lower, probably. Bouillon, I mean, I guess with the usage and whatever, I could see where that would happen. Yurov, sure.
It does make a lot of sense. Like, the top 5 for sure in both categories make perfect sense to me. I do like this.
And if you look at average, I guess it makes sense. But for example, we'll look at this Kraken game. You can just see how we were talking about Eck and the engine room line just being so valuable. Eck having one of the best games by any Wild player this season, just phenomenal. You can kind of see the reminder in the top left of what he did so good. Scored 3 points. Drove play pretty well, and his defense was fantastic. Pretty much everything there above average or positive value for all the Wild players, except of course for like the special teams, which is a common theme. We cooked the Kraken, and then the Stars. This is another good one. You see Eck having back-to-back like straight A's, Boldy having just a game of a lifetime, dominating. That again, top 3, all the engine room. Tarasenko had a decent one. I don't know. This format is pretty aesthetically pleasing in my opinion. I put the Dallas Stars here just to embarrass them further. Basically, no one even had a positive rating, whereas nobody on our team had a negative rating. We dominated them. Miro Heiskanen, after literally living in my head rent-free for an entire summer for putting Kaprizov in clamps in that series, gets shit on. And yeah, the whole team did, so that was nice. In the Senators game, here's kind of how that looked. As you can see, it was a little bit all over the place. Tyler Pitlick somehow ended up being our most valuable player because he did score.
Shout out Zach Bogosian.
Yeah, he was our most valuable player. But that was nice. And then you see the Bruins game and Quinn Hughes being our 5th best defenseman. He did not drive a ton of play. He didn't have a great first period. But
he probably hasn't even made it past staff to guys in the team yet. It's
I'm not worried.
We gave him 1 period and we saw what he did. Give him 1 week and he's gonna be
for sure
above what he's been doing all season.
And then you look at the Kaprizovs and the Boldies and Hartman having a great game, 3 points. Eck,
love to see it.
Just you can see the consistency of Eck here is a great thing that this highlights. Even if it doesn't always show up on the score sheet, which it has been lately. But yeah, it's nice to see. How do you feel about this as like a format, or how does that look to you?
Yeah, I mean, it is hard to to beat the money puck deserve to win a meter. I think it's the best
all encompassing
in the internet, as well as the expected goals. That sandwich graph is pretty fun to watch as well. But I think that definitely is better than the other random graphs
that they have.
Money puck. No hate to money puck, but it's just like players in their lines, just names and then logos, and then just kind of like up and down there. This is just like a much better version of that. It's
well separated. Nice to look at, kind of.
Nice to look at.
Yeah, but that's gonna be it for us today. Great week of Wild hockey. Great week on and off the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Could be just the best one all season so far. 4 wins. You pick up Quinn Hughes. Good stuff. Looking ahead, I think we're gonna go for a bit of like a reaction-a-thon. We're gonna look at an old article of mine from the last summer where I talked about the Central Division pre-Quinn Hughes. We just are going to take a look at how difficult that's going to be, kind of add on to that, react to that, what I said at the time. Maybe look at update some predictions for the standings and others. And we'll do the regular week in review, goal of the week, look around the league. So looking forward to that. We'll see you then. Any last comments for this week?
Yeah, we'll see you. So obviously we're gonna have our goal of the league and the games. It's probably gonna be a little bit of a shorter episode, like last week. Next week, since we will just have that one article to look at, depends on how in depth we go into it. But there's a lot of stuff Dylan mentioned back then. It was in March, right?
Yeah, it was.
A lot of it's pretty accurate. There's some blunders there, but not very many, and there's a lot of stuff that's pretty much spot on. So you guys are gonna.
It's good. It'll be fun to see, especially because it's already changed so much. But yeah, that'll be good. But until then, it's been good. Hopefully it continues to be, and until next time, we will see you.